A big milestone for XRP, and there's no way we're going back. This is positive news. We'll talk price action at the end. The Stablecoin Act is now in the hands of the House. When will it get done? I've got updates for you. Canada passes the US. Jerome's holding us back. BTC is...
I say lots of naughty things, so here's your warning.
Every bank will issue a stablecoin after the Genius Act passes. Who will be the rails that passes on? Who's going to be the bridge asset? Well, we'll talk about that and more. But before we do, you know the deal. Your viewers matter the most. So your comments come first. Ploopy Tuesday says, get well soon, my guy. I am patiently waiting for your comical yet insightful daily crypto news. Well, I'm bringing it to you early today because I really couldn't fall asleep, so I figured I'd be an overachiever. Alan McMaster says, let's get it, brother. Happy hump day. That was yesterday. Today is Thirsty Thursday. Have a drink for me, everyone, because I still gotta be a good noodle. Amy BC23 dropping support on the channel. Thank you, Amy. That's the name of my wife. No, this is not my wife on the screen, but someone with the same cool name. Says, thanks for the awesome tip on Circle. I got a few in at $31 at a share. Well done, my gal. You're way up. Also, thanks for consistently being the real deal, no flub. I hope you're on the mend. All good things, that's right. I bring you the news, good ahead, happy or sad, no hopium, no BS price predictions, no, oh, Elon's buying XRP at 10,000, no bullshit like that. Let's get into the news. Bitcoin sitting at 104,953, ETH is 2534, BNB at 643, while XP is at 215. ADA struggling at 60 cents here. That's something we're going to have to pay attention to. H-bar fans, we talked about buying H-bar sub 15 cents. That is nuts, isn't it? By the way, Doge and Meme also on sale as well. 69. By the way, H-bar still on sale. 14.6. All right, let's get to it. Every bank will issue a stablecoin after the Genius Act passage. Is coming from the Alchemy CTO. Until now, major banks have held back, waiting for clear regulations. A need the new bill addresses. Ponson believes that in the future, every bank will issue its own stablecoin. No, it's going to happen. We've seen Wells Fargo, Bank of America, they're all doing it. In fact, players have even recently launched new patents. Yeah. For banks, issuing their own stablecoins will allow them to capture the float on reserves with the ability to bring in hundreds of millions of annual revenue. We've seen how much money Tether's been making. What about the Circle IPO? Why do you think people are going so hardcore on that? Because there's so much profit in stablecoins. For clients, that's people like us, bank-issued stablecoins offer instant settlement, 24/7 availability, and programmable money that's backed in trust by the regulatory protections of traditional banking relationships. Think of stablecoins as kind of like a 50-50 sort of thing, right? You're kind of playing with traditional finance, but you're kind of playing with digital money, right? You're kind of playing both worlds, right? It's like the safe way of playing with crypto. This is interesting. Okay, so the market is growing. We've seen how the IPO went with Circle. Everyone wants to get in on stables. The Genius Act passed first. The Clarity Act that's in the House is really freaking slow. So, yeah, stables are where it's at, baby. All right, Coinbase Chief Legal Officer Paul Grewal says it's time for the U.S. to catch up as Canada's beating the hell out of us. Canada lowering rates. Canada launching an ETF. And remember, Canada also launched the BTC ETF 3 years ahead of the United States. Yo! So for the South Park fans out there, let's sing the song, Blame Canada, blame Canada. They're not even a real country anyways. No, they are a real country and they're beating us. Meanwhile, the SEC Commission approved a spot BTC almost 3 years later than Canada. Yeah, and we saw that BTC ETF in the United States was extremely successful. Again, Canada has outpaced the US by launching an XRP ETF. Now, is it a big one? No, it's not, but they still beat us to it. Coinbase Chief Legal Officer emphasized the need for the United States to catch up and set up a clear regulatory framework. Canada's just beating us. They're getting stuff done faster. Remarkably, the United States, under its current leadership, has made significant progress. Kind of, with executive orders, but we're not getting stuff done. Here's one. The first major crypto regulation in the Genius Act passed the Senate on Tuesday. That's good, right? That is good. Here's the problem. Are you ready for it, everyone? Remember, I bring you the news, good, bad, happy, or sad. Let's get into the sad zone. So for those of you out there that are antidepressants, maybe take some more. No, this is not medical advice. Remember, I am Santa Claus, not Dr. Claus. Oh, they're not working today, the House of Representatives. Oh, let's check their schedule next week, because maybe they're working next week on it. Oh, no, budget stuff. Oh, okay. Veterans Affairs related stuff. Got it. Let's go now to Tuesday. Locking in the Doge cut, securing the mineral rights. I'm into that. I like that stuff. Child care, legislative action, hearings and voting. Okay, so it's not on that day. Okay, maybe there were, no. Sacrificing excellence for ideology, DEI, proxy advisor. Okay, no, it's not on that day. Okay, so let's go to July. No, so they're not working that week. Okay, no, sorry, it's not even on the fucking July schedule. So, okay, cool. We pass it through the Senate, and it's not even on the July schedule yet for debates, for subcommittee markup debates and votes. So we've got a ways to go. So no, don't blame Canada. No, Canada's beating us. Here's that tweet from Paul. Oh, by the way, everything you see in this video and everything else, it's all linked in the description below. This is from Paul. A reminder, as Canadians begin fishing, I kind of want to do fishing in Canada. As a reminder, as Canadians begin trading the 3IQXP ETF today, regulatory clarity drives innovation. Canada had the world's spot BTC ETF in 2021. Now it beat the US with an XRP ETF. It's way past time for the US to catch stuff done and get crypto market structure legislation done. Okay, so now that's the Stablecoin Act, right? What about the Clarity Act, right? That's the one that brings clarity, like what I did there, for this big blob of cryptos right here. Well, it got past the subcommittee stuff, okay? That's where, went through like the small like committees, right? Awesome. It's not even scheduled for a floor debate anywhere in this blob of stuff. So, we're not even moving forward with that thing either. By the way, you can check out, I'm going to have the House also linked down below what their schedule is. They don't have anything set up. So, yeah. And by the way, they have I think it's 150 or 180 days once the Senate passed the Genius Act to actually get stuff done on it. So, yeah, baby, you got time. Okay, let's move more into XRP related stuff. Oh, Charles Cardano, founder, all in, XRP integration. Basically, what are you thinking about this? Is this a big nothing burger? He's been talking a lot about partnerships with XRP. This is a whole XRP package with the Glacier drop, Lace wallet support, XRP DeFi, RLUSD talks. Okay, cool, we're talking Rails, we're talking integration. That's all awesome. Is that going to help out native token price? Is that going to help out ecosystem and building more? I go to the XRP burned all time. There has been almost 14 million XRP burned all time. So no, we're not going to get rich on the XRP burn. Now, when stables start moving, I think you're going to see more stuff with stablecoins helping out with that. But is it still going to burn it? I mean, if you're going to have 100 billion XRP all time on there, okay, that might be a little tough. And again, you can watch on the screen. You're going to see how little XRP is burned even as we're doing the video. That's this blob right up here, right? It's very, very little. Why? Because XRP is so freaking efficient. That's part of the problem. It's so efficient that it doesn't burn a lot on those transactions. So, Cardano XRP partnership, I think it's good for builders. In terms of native token price, I don't know. I mean, I think Charles is reaching here because here's the thing. Ripple's really not in trouble. I think Cardano needs help here. So I think he's trying to claw onto anything here to try to help out Cardano out. Because think, recently he just said, hey, look, we're going to swap 100 million ADA for stablecoins, which is hot, and for BTC, which is hot. So I think he's grasping. What I think he's doing, he's trying to look for industry leaders like XRP and Ripple to kind of pull him out of the poop sandwich. Okay, interesting news for XRP. Are we going back to 50 cents? Boy, I don't think so. Listen to this stat. This is good news, okay? Remember, we had some sad news earlier with the stablecoin bill not going anywhere and stuff like that. Well, this is good news, okay? Here's how many days XRP has remained above 50 cents. Now, this is important because we're not talking about G unit. No, we're talking about 50 cent price-wise. This is going to shock you, okay? We've had a lot of turbulence. We've had a lot of price spikes. We've had times before where XRP, when you look at the all-time chart, we would go above 50 cents and we would come back down. We would go above 50 cents again in 2021. We come back down. Well, now we've been above 50 cents for the longest time ever in XRP's history. But for how long? Well, here's the key, everyone. Now, despite the ongoing market uncertainty, XRP has stayed far above the 50-cent level for its longest period ever. Specifically, the last time XRP saw 50 cents, right around the election time, November 5th of 2024. We have now been above 50 cents for 226 days. This is a new long for XRP. Now, for those of you out there, you're like, but bro, why is this significant? Well, this is two reasons, okay? Number one, you've developed a new norm for XRP. So when we look at the blob, right, a lot of us remember this blob between the 30 and 50 cent range, okay? Now, we're looking at the new $2 floor, going $2 is our new 50 cents. So mentally speaking, a lot of people aren't excited now with $2 XRP. We're thinking of $2 XRP now like 50 cents. So there's a lot of people, yes, we've got a lot of OG viewers out there that have been with this channel for the last how many years, remember the 30 to 50 cent range. But we've also got a lot of new and midterm viewers here that are like, yo, bro, I got in at $2. Yo, bro, I got in at $2.30, $2.50, $3. For me, this $2.15 crap is boring, right? So we have to keep our perspectives in mind. Not everyone is a long-term stacker. Some of us are, like I said, new and near-term, okay? So with that in mind, mentally, you got to think. A lot of the market now has bought in this blob. Look at the volume, right? You can see at the bottom of the screen, a lot of players have bought in here. So they're not as excited when we go from 215 to 250. Yes, you players that bought in at 30 and 50 cents, you're still excited because you're like, bro, I'm up 5-6x on this action. That's awesome. But the players that bought in at $2, $2.15, you're like, oh, but bro, this is boring. That's why you start seeing the volume eroding a little bit, because $2.15 XRP is not hot anymore. Now, at the beginning, right, when we had $2.15 XRP here in December 28th, yeah, it was hot because we just like a month and a half ago had 50 cents. So remember, we're going through a psychological turnover here with XRP, where the norm from 50 cent to $2 was a big jump. But now, since we've been at $2 for so long, 266 days specifically, that shock has worn off. So now you're seeing the market be a little bit more susceptible to these downside pushes. Why? Because the awe has worn off. Because now you've got so many more players' averages that aren't so deep in the green. Because think about it. For all the players that were hanging out with averages in like late October, right? All of a sudden, 2 weeks later, boom, you were like, whoa, bro, we're up 5x. Now that these days have gone by, 266 specifically, a lot of people's averages have really kind of leveled out, right? So we're kind of going through this change. Now, that being said, overall in the crypto market, volume, kind of average. Why is that happening? Okay, 107 billion. Why is it happening? Well, because of what happened with Jerome Powell in the FOMC meeting yesterday. Basically saying, hey, look, we're not ruling out 2 rate cuts. We're still pricing in 1, maybe 2, but we're kind of teetering on maybe just doing 1, but maybe 2. He was really cautious with what he said. He was really kind of, it wasn't a good one yesterday. So the market is kind of like, oh gosh, BTC has been very range bound. ETH really hasn't been doing much. We've been seeing what XRP here has been doing as of late. Look, go to the 15-minute candlestick Aroni. You can see exactly what I'm talking about the last couple days. It has been Bloringsville. You see what I mean? Mega friend zone, everyone. That sucks. Yeah, because of Jerome Powell and the Fed. Zoom out just a little bit, and you're like, yeah, this is kind of poopy McPooperson. Yeah, it's kind of, right? We've kind of gotten out of these high... Okay, so regs are going to move super slow in the United States, but what's new? The United States, like I've been saying time and time again, it's like steering the Titanic. Captain, we see the iceberg. But if we turn the ship now, we're going to avoid it. And the captain's like, I don't know, is that my job? And then the guy's like, yeah, it's actually your job. Because if we steer it now, we'll avoid it. And he's like, nah, I don't know. I've got shit to do, man. And the guy's like, okay, you're the captain. Like, that's how it is in the United States. So, seeing Canada cut rates, seeing Canada launch ETFs. Remember, the BTC ETF was launched in Canada 3 years before the United States. It tells you what you're working with here. What about the European Central Bank? Cutting rates 11 times while Powell has Yeah, like, dude, come on, man. That's what we're dealing with here. So don't look for regs to get done anytime soon. But as soon as they do get done, look for players to launch stablecoins left and right. Look for every freaking bank to launch stablecoins, and look for these things to be everywhere. Now, the rails they get launched on, let's be real here. We've seen ETH be a massive player for them. What about the Base network for Coinbase? That's another big player for them. They've got their preferences. I can't tell you why they pick those things. They just do, and such is life. In fact, there's more RLUSD on the ETH chain than there is on XRPL. So go figure that one out, okay? Like I said, I bring you the news. I don't make the news. It's just, it's how it is. Now, in terms of XRP and the Cardano thing, look, I think Cardano has more to gain than XRP does if there were to ever be an integration like that. And I think Charles is desperate. Look, and that's what it is. A lot of players like to ride the coattails of pros out there like Ripple and XRP. That's why Cardano even said, look, we'll cash in 100 million of ADA for some BTC and stables. Two of the hottest things right now in the crypto market, so obviously that is not coincidence. In terms of being hot, look, XRP above $2. You got to recognize that we're in that transition phase now of what was hot price-wise 6 months ago is not hot price-wise now. It's now the norm. So when it comes to like market hysteria, when you see $2.30 price-wise, it's kind of boring, right? It's the friend zone. I told you about that. It's not fun in the friend zone. So when does the XP market really heat up? Around that 250 range, things start perking up. 260, yo, that's when things really start getting nuts. So that's why you're seeing muted volume. That's why you're seeing muted interest. But feel good, though, because we're staying above crucial support levels. Very interesting here. So that's the early news for you today for my friends across the pond. Yeah, right? Not so bad. For my friends in the United States on the East Coast, good morning to you. For the friends on the West Coast, I hope you're still sleeping. For my friends in Australia, you're either partying late at night or you're dead asleep right now. So choo-choo what? Choo-choo biz nachos. High price, 250, 260 plus XRP days. And when we go down into the friend zone, you see the market just up. Look at, like I said, look at the volume. Look at how juicy the volume was right from that November, December, into January. And now we've really started calming down. So, is it important that we've now held 50 cent for the longest time ever? Yes, it is. We've established a new floor. But now that the hysteria, now that the excitement is worn off, the volume is wearing off. But the price is still maintaining that floor. So this should make a lot of you out there start understanding and building new expectations of floor pricing, where you should feel comfortable, and should you chase or not. We talk about that, right? What are your targets? And everyone has different targets and different averages. That's why I don't like saying, hey, this is what you should do, that's what you should do. I bring you the news so you can understand the dynamics behind it so that you can set your expectations that best fit you. Now, that being said, on the high side, are we sitting here going, yo, bro, we're going to be $3 by the end of the week? Fuck no. Hell no. The market is too unstable right now. You got too much going on with inflation. Jerome Powell says he's going to leave rates higher because the economy is good. The job market is good. Israel-Iran stuff is still too hot right now. You still got problems with Russia and Ukraine. You got flare-ups with inflation when it comes to energy prices because of what's going on in the Middle East. So no, we got a little bit too much geopolitical stuff going on right now. We need those things to turn around. We also need what to turn around? Things with REGS, right? Canada blowing the doors off us with REGS and ETFs. We need those stablecoin bill to go through. We need the Clarity Act to go through. We need the House and the Senate to actually do stuff, which they're not really doing. So yeah, we got some things that need to happen. But right now what's happening with XRP is what? I think we all feel very comfortable with the $2 floor of XRP. In fact, when was the last time we hit $2 for XRP? It was all the way back here on the 9th of April. April to May, May to June. Holy crap, we're going to be almost 3 months since the last time we even touched $2, everyone.